Hello everybody. Today we're going to be reading Vivi the Spanish Superdog. Okay, now before we start, would anybody like to hold Vivi the Spanish Superdog? Would you? What about Philip? Would you like to hold Philip? Yeah? We've got Felipe here. Would you like to hold Felipe? Yeah? Lucia. And we have Lucy here. There you go. You look after those while I read the story. Vivi the Spanish Superdog. Deep in the heart of the olive groves of Sevilla, in the heat of the Spanish sol, a farmer found a tiny black and brown puppy all alone and curled up in a shady spot. No one knew how she'd got there, so he picked her up, put her in a box and took her to the nearest rescue centro. You know what centro is? Centre, yeah. Little did the farmer know that there was something especial about this puppy. Una cachorra, he said, as he passed the box over at the centre. It was full of perros needing new homes. Small ones, big ones, yappy ones and shy ones. The little puppy felt tired and found a small blanket in the corner to cuddle up on. That afternoon, a young girl called Eliana came in with her parents. She was sad as they were moving back to England. Her madre had promised she could choose a little puppy to take back with her. She said they could give a puppy a new start in Inglaterra. Do you know where Inglaterra is? England. And it would be Eliana's new friend. Eliana looked at all the lonely perros in their cages and wanted to take them all home. Eliana had a big heart and she was a very kind little girl. She stopped by the cage of a tiny black and brown puppy. The cachorra looked up at her and tilted its head to one side. Its sweet furry face and big hazel ojos were beautiful. Oh. It had scrappy hair that needed a good comb. Eliana had found her puppy. She would name her after a favourite auntie and call her Vivi. When they opened the cage, Vivi came running out and straight into Eliana's arms. So she gave her a big cuddle and tickled Vivi's tummy. Vivi in return licked Eliana's chin. From that day on, the two of them became very best amigas. What do you think? Can we say amigas? Amigas. Eliana loved Vivi and Vivi loved Eliana. But Eliana didn't know Vivi's big secreto. Vivi the Spanish rescue dog had extra special powers and was in fact a super dog. And so the aventuras began. It was a cold, blustery morning in England and Vivi had jumped on Eliana's bed as usual and licked her face 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Vivi, stop, Eliana giggled as Vivi jumped all over her bed covers excitedly. Okay, if you stop, I'll take you for a walk. Eliana got dressed, put on her warm coat, woolly guantes. What do you think her guantes are?
Gloves.
Good girl. And her pom-pom hat. Vivi waited impatiently for her lead to be put on. Jump, jump, saltar! Vivi loved going for walks. And why did she love walks? Because it was her chance to see if anybody would need saving in the big wide world out there. Vivi definitely took her superdog status seriously. Can you see her jumping? Saltar, saltar. The two of them made their way down Ticklebrick Avenue. Vivi took note of everything around her and logged it in her head. Un arbol, a tree looking a bit wobbly in the wind by the casa of Mr. and Mrs. Clayton. A suspicious-looking hombre hanging around the bikes by the supermercado. What's the supermercado? Yeah, the supermarket. Good. Come on, Vivi, pleaded Eliana. It's too windy and cold to be investigating everything, and I need to pop in the supermarket. So be a good girl and stay here on your lead. Eliana wrapped Vivi's lead around a post outside the shop, and Vivi put her nariz in the air. What do you think her nariz is?
Nose.
Yeah, her nose. She was sniffing for trouble. All seemed well. On their return, Vivi saw the Clayton's gato, Edward, sitting on a fence and licking his paws. Hola, Eduardo, Vivi barked across the road. You look very contento. Hey there, Vivi. Yeah, I'm thinking of taking Cadia out tonight, so I'm pretty happy. Well, be careful with this viento, Eduardo. It's going to be even windier tonight. Will do, Vivi. Thanks for the concern. Edward nodded and continued to casually lick his paws. Vivi seemed satisfied that Eduardo had listened to her word of warning and carried on walking and watching, andando and watching. Eliana tugged her towards home. Vivi, you mustn't bark at the cats. Vivi chuckled to herself. These humans really had no idea how we communicated. The two of them spent the rest of the dia in the warm, snacking, sitting in front of the fire and playing some hide-the-treat games in the kitchen. The viento outside was howling, and as they went up to bed at 8, Vivi pretended to cuddle up at the end of Eliana's cama. What do you think her cama is? Yeah, her bed. Well done. Muy bien. But Vivi was on high alert. She didn't know how she'd inherited these superpoderes or when she'd first found out about them. She just knew she was super. At 10 o'clock, she sniffed Eliana's face and made sure she was fast asleep. She clipped on her cape azul that was hidden under the wardrobe and squeezed through the cat flap that was still in the back door, making sure not to make any ruido that might wake the familia.
Noise.
And what's familia?
Family.
Yeah. Can you say familia?
Familia.
Muy bien. She made her way down the side alley and onto the main street. There, Vivi began her patrol. The wind whistled past her flappy ears and sent her capa high into the air, but Vivi didn't mind. She was out to protect the people of Ticklebrick Avenida. After a couple of horas braving it in the wind, with her fur all ruffled and her paws tired, she noticed the feeble arbol from earlier bending dangerously in the wind. But what was that on the branch? Can you see?
The cat.
Yeah, Eduardo. Oh. Vivi raced up the street to see what could be done, but as she did, the tall tree took one final blast in the wind and started to caer over into the garden. Vivi ran to the site and managed to use her super fuerte body to redirect the tree onto the lawn, narrowly missing a casa. Phew, she thought, I've saved the day again. But hold on, where was Eduardo? Vivi called out, Eduardo, ¿dónde estás? In the distance, she could hear a faint cat cry. Vivi looked around and could see Eduardo was trapped by a fallen wall and the spiky branches of the tree in the corner of the garden. Can you see? Don't worry, no te preocupes, Eduardo, me voy, I'm coming. Vivi ran up to the arbol, summoned up her super rapido paw power and started to dig. She dug faster and más rápido, deeper and deeper. She burrowed under the fallen tree and back up again until she popped up in the small space where Eduardo was trapped and very scared. Hold on to my cape, Eduardo. We're going down. Look at this. Can you see them going down through the tunnel? Vivi ran back through the tunnel, taking Eduardo with her. He clung onto her capa. What's her capa?
Cape.
With all his might, and eventually they reached the other side. Gracias, my friend. Muchísimas gracias. Eduardo said with relief, licking his fur of all the dirt. You saved my life. No problema, Eduardo, my amigo. All in a night's work. What were you doing up there anyway? Eduardo looked sheepish. Well, I was coming to take Cadia out, but as I got to her door, her owners came out and seemed really mad at me. The old man chased me up the tree. I didn't know where else to go. Some people, sighed Vivi. Anyway, I need to go dormir. What do you think dormir means? I'm feeling pretty tired. See you soon, Eduardo. Sure, thanks again, Vivi. Vivi returned home and slipped back through the cat flap. She wearily trotted upstairs and tucked her cape safely under the wardrobe. She cuddled up on Eliana's bed and wondered what aventura she would have tomorrow night. Hasta la próxima, people. Until the next time. To be continued. Do you think she'll get up to more adventures?
Yeah.
Would you like to try a few more Spanish words? Shall we see if you know any? Should we get our JaJaJa Books flashcards out? Okay. So who can tell me what this is?
Sun.
But who can say sol?
Sol.
Muy bien. These two are best.
Friends.
But who can say amigas?
Amigas.
Muy bien, toma. Oh, what's this?
Egg.
Who can say huevo?
Huevo.
Muy bien, perfecto. Favorite food. ¿Qué es esto?
Ice cream.
But who can say helado?
Helado.
Muy bien. Who's been on one of these before?
Airplane.
Who can say avión?
Avión.
Muy bien. Give yourselves a little clap. Muy bien. Well done.